One quick question for you. How did you become a Republican?
Becoming a Republican is a lot of time in my lifetime. It's a lot like some people might experience when they become a born again believer. I grew up in a household that was all Democrat all the time, in a neighborhood that was all Democrat all the time. I went to a college where everybody was all Democrat all the time. Had friend circles that were all Democrat all the time. But over time, I had some life experiences. The first one being in the year 2000. I ran out of money to go to school, so I was working full time, waiting tables, and it was election year, and I had a customer that asked me, Thurlow, in this election, are you going to vote Democrat, Republican? And I said, of course, I'm voting Democrat. And he said, why? I said, because Democrats are for everyday people, and they want to help the people. They want to help people who, like me, who want to become successful. I want to be a business owner one day. And he's like, well, if that's what you want, you're voting for the wrong people. I was like, no, that can't be the case, because I've always been told that that's the way it is. So what he said disturbed me. He's like, Thurlow, you don't know what you're saying. I suggest you do some research. Of course, I didn't do the research then, okay, but it stuck in my head. So fast forward 6 to 8 months, I ended up moving back to Arkansas in 2001. And so I was having a conversation at another job with someone else, and it was a conversation about, Thurlow, typically when you vote, do you vote Democrat or Republican? I was like, of course I vote Democrat, because those are people that are for the people. I was like, what do you mean by for the people? And I mentioned some of the same things. It's like, Thurlow, have you ever heard of something called the estate tax or the death tax? It's like, what's that? It's like, if this business venture that you keep talking about ever becomes successful and you make millions of dollars, when you die, do you want Uncle Sam to get half of what you're going to leave to your family? I was like, that's not fair. He's like, so why would you vote for the people who are supporting that? I'm like, that can't be the Democrats. He's like, do your research. Of course, it still didn't sink in. It's like the helicopter, the boat, the truck. Okay, so fast forward about another 6 or 8 months. I'm listening to the radio, and this is a true story. I just happened to accidentally land on a station with Rush Limbaugh talking. A person that when I was in college, we used to boo him when the TV would pop on when he had a TV show. But he just happened to be talking to somebody about the estate tax. And I made a connection. It was like I connected two life experiences together. And I'm listening to that. I was like, actually, I would agree with that. You shouldn't. I've already been taxed probably a couple times. Why am I? Okay, I don't have a disagreement with that. I ended up accidentally listening to him for about an hour and a half. And I didn't hear anything that was not in agreement with things I actually believe. So I was like, there's got to be a catch, because this can't be true. I mean, I grew up believing that Rush Limbaugh was like the Antichrist, okay? So I tuned in the next day. And I listened some more. And as people were calling in and sharing what they thought, and he's sharing what he thought, and I'm listening, and I'm like, I'm confused, because I'm like, they're not saying anything that I'm disagreeing with. So how can this be? Because I'm supposed to be a Democrat. I'm a black man in America. I'm supposed to be a Democrat. But these conservative people are saying things that are actually reaching me. And so it took me about 3 or 4 weeks. I was conflicted. I was confused. I was depressed, because I couldn't come to grips with saying that. But I had to, as anything in life, when it's the truth, you have to come to grips with it. So I was an in the closet conservative for about 4 years. I didn't tell anybody else. I just changed the way I voted. I actually started, looking at more conservative programming and, doing some different things, researching things. So it was in 2008, the first time I actually publicly let anybody know that I was a conservative, because there was so much shame and it was so insecure. And in that time, I can't tell you how much ridicule, I can't tell you how many vulgar statements have been made. I've had people in my business that won't do business with me when they find I'm a conservative. I mean, it's been a tough road, but it's definitely been worth it to be myself and speak my mind. At the end of the day, God is going to bless you. You got to be true to who you are. But I would like to encourage anyone out there, minority, woman, whatever you feel like that keeps you from being what people stereotype as a conservative. If that's who you are, that's who you are. And in this country, the direction of this country, our communities, our state, our next generation is depending on you to speak your voice, speak it loud, be who you are, because there are other people who would like to be able to be bold and to be proud and to tell people who they are and what they believe in. But when they see this person over here do it and this person over here do it, they can feel like, hey, I'm not out here by myself. You're not. If you're listening to this, you're not by yourself. Okay, there are other people just like you. Come out of the closet. Be out in the open, Republican, conservative, however you want to phrase it. But speak your mind, speak your heart, and tell somebody else, because they may be just like you.
Thank you, sir.
Very
That's
welcome.
excellent. What are you running for in 2 years?